Charlotte Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman here with Shaggy TV, ready to bring you, as always, our Old Timers Tuesday here in the Coast to Coast Racing League. The members 55 and older here in the C2CRL, so if you're of age, you know, maybe getting that discount at some of the stores and you're interested looking for a league to race in, head to c2crl.com. And, well, thanks to the fine sponsors of Malware Farm Management and the Masked Avenger this season, these races are broadcasted. So, couldn't do it without the people chipping in. Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. And we're here at the Lernerville Speedway tonight. Papa here, Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr., currently at the top of the charts here in that 55. Brian Moore absolutely quick everywhere he goes, and I'd be shocked if we didn't see some speed out of that 55 here tonight. And Terry Landis as well, the Desert Demon. He's another one. You got to keep your eye on this 161. He will have that thing humming here before the night's over. And look at him on the outside. Whoa! Gets into the outside wall there, rolls it over. Bob DeGood moseys that 7 on by. Let's see what kind of line Bob. He's running that middle line here. No, he's just going to pull it off. I was going to say he gets loose in the center of the corner, but no, he doesn't. He's just going to pull in there. Take a little break here. It's 1 past the hour, so we'll get ready to roll into qualifying. Or no, excuse me. You think I'd learned the format by now. We'll get ready to roll into our heat races here in about a minute or so. Those predetermined by pill draw, basically. iRacing random. We will qualify in the second race here when we head over to Daytona. Just look at that. Here we go, ready to roll as Terry Landis gives us a final wheelie before we grid up here for heat race number 1. Let's take a look here at the starting grid for that heat race. Rounding out the field outside of row number 3 in the 014, that's GJ Boydell. And to his inside, the Desert Demon in the 161, Terry Landis. Row number 2 to the outside, the 7 of Bob DeGood. And lined up to his inside, the 789 of Cale Bixler. Row number 1 for heat race number 1. Winner starts on the pole for tonight's feature. On the outside in the 41, the librarian Pat Boyce. And to his inside, the 055, Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. Always got to keep your eye out on that 055. He is he's good. I mean, he knows what he's doing. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And you always expect him to finish towards the front. And if you're going to put him there to start out the race, well, boy, oh boy, you know, you're giving yourself the short end of the stick here to start out. Well, good luck. Gotta pace around one more time here. No rush to get rolling at the Lernerville Speedway. As the Steve King Foundation pace car comes around. See GJ Boydell pulling a little bit of a wheelie there in the back at 014. You can do that going down the front stretch, but now, you know, it's a little too close to go time. Don't want to be doing that going down the back stretch. So have to see what Greg does. I'm going to be playing around with the volume here a little bit, but the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 1 is underway. Brian Moore Sr. with a good jump here on the bottom through 1 and 2. Looking to carry that momentum. He does. Slides up, takes it through 3 and 4. He's your leader after lap number 1. Meanwhile, the battle on behind, Cale Bixler tries to take a peek to the inside here, but the librarian taking him to school on that top shelf. Too big of a run. Librarian looks down, sees him in the middle of the corner again, but coming out, too tough to tame. Gets sideways, though, on entry of 1 and 2, and now Cale Bixler, he's got to think he has a shot at this thing. He keeps it on the bottom. Works just fine, but then gets it in the outside wall. Pat Boyce coming for his slide job. Oh, Cale thought about a crossover, but the Desert Demon, welcome to the party. Terry Landis taking a peek for P2 with 2 to go. Can the Desert Demon find a way around? He knows Brian Moore Sr. is going to be tough. I talked to him before the race. He said, Brian's got to be the favorite coming in, and if he wants to beat this favorite, he's going to have to start right behind him in the feature, but Pat's making him work hard as we go through 3 and 4 for the final time. This is your battle. Pat shuts the door. Brian Moore wins heat race number 1. Pat holds on. Terry Landis 3rd. Cale Bixler 4th. GJ Boydell 5th. And Bob DeGood rounds out the field. As we get ready to take a look here, starting grid heat race number 2. Starting on the inside of row number 3, all by his lonesome in the 75. That's the mayor, Steve Bixler. Row number 2 on the outside, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. And to his inside, the 747 of the Bassman, Roger Craig. Row number 1 for your second and final heat race here at the Lernerville Speedway. Winner starts on the outside of the pole. Starting on the outside in the 143, Scott Zeneker. And starting on the pole, the 302 of John Rayner. And well, we'll reset this here one more time. Hope she works. There she goes. Last time through 3 and 4, and gonna do without the extra pace lap this time. Don't blame them. Green flag's high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 2 is underway. John Rayner on that inside. Oh, he loses the rear end, gets loose in front of, I believe that was Roger Craig, who goes over. Nothing he could do, just like that. 2 cars basically out of this race, and Scott Zeneker never made the call, so this is a 2-car field here. Let's play a little get-to-know-you session. We got 2 guys out here. Well, the Brewerton Beast, you want to know where he's from? He's from Brewerton, New York, hence the nickname. And Jeff, he's a phenomenal road racer. He's a fun guy. You ever need a road racer for your team, I'm telling you. You get him. He's the absolute glue. Any hours you want him to drive, he's all about dedication. He has fun doing it, and he's probably having fun now. 2 to go. Could be having a little bit more fun, but the guy behind him, he's a bit of the ways back there, Steve Bixler. Now, he's from Iowa. Now, you'd think if I was looking at my autographed T-shirt, I could tell you what, I think it's Clarence something, Iowa. And Steve is the mayor. So hence the nickname the mayor. As Jeff Barker rolls through 3 and 4 for the final time. And you're looking at it. Checkered flag waves. Jeff Barker wins heat race number 2. Steve Bixler second. And John Rayner, well, he got back out there on the racetrack. We're going to see him come around. He's going to finish 3rd. The Bassman 4th. And Scott Zeneker P5. As we take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, we will be right back with your A main here at the Lernerville Speedway, presented by Maurer Farm Management. Stick around. We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. GJ Boydell atop the warm-up charts. Mr. Wednesday Night P2 and the Desert Demon right there, P3. A guy who loves this track oh so much, he's busy doing a little real-life racing. Dino, he would be a contender here this evening, but Dino down in Volusia for his Super Dirt Week, I believe, or not it's not Super Dirt Week. I don't think that's the one up in New York. I can't remember exactly, but it's, down there he's got his boys down there in Volusia having fun this week. So hopefully Dino's having a good time down there. Well, I don't know why it's been doing this to your boy lately, but it has. Whenever I don't start at the top, they don't all want to show, so we got to go with the flow. Bob DeGood takes a 7, lines up on the inside of row number 6. Row number 5 on the outside, the 143 of Scott Zeneker, and to his inside, the 014 of GJ Boydell. Row number 4 on the top shelf, the Bassman Roger Craig, and to his inside, that's 789 of Cale Bixler. Row number 3 on the outside, the 302 of John Rayner, and it is inside the 161 of the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. Row number 2 to the outside, and the 75, the Mayor, Steve Bixler, and to his inside, the 41 of the Librarian, Pat Boyce. Row number 1 on the outside, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and starting on the pole in the 055, Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. I'll tell you what, with that being said, good luck to the rest of the field. Brian Moore Sr. out front. He is going to be an absolute missile. It is not going to be easy to run him down. Not too sure what happened there, as you guys probably saw the quick freeze. That was actually my eye racing. No connection here, so I had the heart attack as well as you did. And we're going to hope that it's all well and dandy here as we roll through 3 and 4. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 25 laps to play in the clay at the Lernerville Speedway. We're underway. Good jump there from Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. That's what he needed to get out front and set the pace, but the battle's on behind him. The Librarian takes a peek on the Brewerton Beast, but Jeff doing a good job on the outside. But looky, Pat Boyce may have found a cookie down there. There's some grip. And he moves that 41 on up to P2 as Jeff Barker definitely where he thought he should be, but right now, guys making it work on the bottom half of the racetrack as Terry Landis takes a peek. He moves on up into that final step of the podium. And Jeff Barker, he's seen enough. He's going to go on down behind him, but here comes the Mayor in the 75. High and mighty where Mama hides the cookies. There he goes. The 75, Steve Bixler. Better watch out. He might burn the house down tonight. Let's watch him through 1 and 2 one more time. Look at this run he gets off the backstretch. Just absolutely annihilates Terry Landis in a straight line. And here he comes taking a peek. Give it to the Mayor, the final step of the podium. As your leader out front ain't been getting no love. It's because he's got a huge lead that just disappeared as the caution flag flies here at the Lernerville Speedway. Cale Bixler and GJ Boydell, as you can see, contact there. Let's go back a little bit. So if you're Cale, you don't really know anyone's under you, I wouldn't think. Oh, Greg, he does do a good job of holding his line, but this is a case of, no, you know what? He's there. He's long enough there, but he does come up the racetrack a little bit, I guess, in hindsight. Comes up the racetrack a little bit, gets into the side of Cale Bixler. Tries to save it, bounces off the inside wall. And just like that, I think when he comes back out here, that's when the caution flag flies. But the caution flag should have flown way before that. That's Nothing on Kale. I would have done the exact same thing. Try to get back out there and get yourself in the race here. As we watch him come down the front stretch, the lights are off on the Steve King Foundation pace car. Should be getting ready to go back green this time here at the Lernerville Speedway. And we're seeing, man, some of my camera angles, I may have to work on some things or check a graphics tune. Maybe they had a minor update that I wasn't aware of. Some of this is skipping a little bit for me. My bad. Normally not like that unless I have a connection issue, but the green flag's high. It's ready to fly. We're back underway at the Lernerville Speedway. Brian Moore Sr. drops the hammer. And Pat Boyce with a great restart here, but just can't find grip coming out of 2. And I think the Desert Demon got a clue here. You watch Steve Bixler use the high side. He's got to go up there now. Don't want to give that up and become a sitting duck as GJ Boydell tries to send it in there. Not going to make it work. Got to fall back up in line. Terry Landis rolling around here, back up to P3. Can he make a move, get on up to P2? He's got a lot of grip through the center of 1 and 2. Terry Landis not thinking about a slide job, going to keep it down there. But you see, drives it over that little bit of shine coming off of 4. And if you're in the gas too hard, you're going to absolutely lose that rear end just like he did there coming out of 2. And Terry Landis watches the podium slip back away. But the mare, Steve Bixler, over the high side. No caution. Able to get it back on the racetrack. Tough break for the mare as Brian Moore Sr., Mr. Wednesday Night, leading the way. Cool, calm, and collected. But here comes a salty dog, Pat Boyce. As the caution flag flies, Bob DeGood up and over hard along with Cale Bixler. Let's see here. It may have even started with Roger Craig, too. Have to see here. Or maybe Roger just involved in it, but that is the first notification I see. Tries to throw that slider and just absolutely just a little late there. I mean, Bob, nothing he could do, hard into the wall. Cale Bixler, he thinks he missed it. And then, well, the 7 comes down from the moon and sends Cale Bixler for an absolute ride. Holy you know what. Full speed, TV3. Let's go. This is crazy. Boom. I mean, I'm seeing 4, maybe 5 flips there. 4.5. Unbelievable, Cale Bixler. That is crazy. The guy, he just can't catch a break, was just involved in one, and now, along with Bob DeGood, finds himself back in pit road, and that's a tough break there for the 789. One of the most extreme flips I think we've seen here. Pretty wild, you know. That defies the logic a little bit, I think, doing the forward front flip that many times. But hey, you know, to each his own. It is a sim. As we roll through 3 and 4, Steve King Foundation pace car is off. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. We're back underway at the Lernerville Speedway. 13 laps to go. Oh, Jeff Barker slides there through the middle, loses a spot or 2. GJ Boydell able to take advantage of that, is trying to get that bottom working, but the Brewerton Beast fights back on the outside is John Rayner. He's got that 302 hard in the wall. Nothing's broke, able to keep rolling. Terry Landis, though, he made the pass for P2. Here comes the Desert Demon. Terry Landis, can he turn up the wick here? Can he find a way to get involved? As Brian Moore Sr. leads the way here at the Lernerville Speedway. Oh, a little contact there in the back. Roger Craig, you see there up over the berm, and just caught the very beginning and the very end of that. So the mare, Steve Bixler, you can kind of see it looks like he's going to lose the rear end, wash out a little bit. As he goes over the berm, just comes back. Roger, nowhere to go. Clips the 75, who then turns around and comes back up after getting clipped. Clips Roger. And they both spin around here through 3 and 4. Roger, 10 out of 10 on the landing. And oh, Bixler with a 12. I mean, he's able to land and then just drive that thing straight into the pits. That's a 12 out of 10. Great finish there from the 75. We'll see here if the flagman settles down and we get the one to go. Not just yet here. We're going to go around one more time at least here at the Lernerville Speedway. Bob DeGood. There you see him and Cale Bixler coming around to get themselves back on the lead lap. Let's go up front here, Brian Moore Sr. So we come back to green here. Should have 8 laps to go. Let's see, it'll switch back to 9 here going down the backstretch. We go back racing, 8 laps to play. Can the Yoo-Hoo man find a way to get on by, or can Brian Moore Sr. hold on? He is a dog in that 055. The green flag's high, it's ready to fly. 8 laps to play here at the Lernerville Speedway. Great jump for Brian Moore Sr. Absolute banger of a start here at the Lernerville Speedway. Look at Terry Landis creeping there on the bottom, though. Just can't find the run coming off the corner like he would like. And, I mean, he is reeling him back in. Just not a lot of time. He's going to need this thing to stay green as Jeff Barker takes a peek here, looking for that final podium spot. Jeff Barker, he's got that 513 rolling good down there on the bottom, but when you need that speed on exit, well, the caution flag flies. And man, oh man, Steve Bixler will have to see what happened to the 75. This has not been a night to write home about. A lot of tough breaks here for the 75. Rayner, it did look like to me, I mean, after obviously the 302 turns up a little bit because he tightens up after the contact. But my initial first thought here is Steve comes down a little bit, maybe turns a little early. We'll have to see. And yeah, he's already started turning. I mean, Rayner did leave him a lane up top. That's, he's not really required to do much more than that. And just like that, here we're under caution again here at the Lernerville Speedway for the 4th time. And Brian Moore Sr., you may not enjoy these cautions at, first thought there in the car, but when he goes back and takes a look at the absolute jumps he's been getting here on these restarts, he may not hate him so much. It's been great for him, and just watching the laps tick down, unless Terry Landis can pull a miracle restart here, you got to think Brian Moore Sr., man, he is the favorite. Got a lot of speed out front. Maybe not the quickest guy on the racetrack right now, arguably is. But with this restart here and just how he's been so perfect, it's going to be tough here as we roll through 3 and 4 for the final time. Green flag high, it's ready to fly. The 55 drops the hammer. And Terry Landis, you saw him get a little bit squirrely there, but one of the better restarts he's had here today, but it doesn't matter. Brian Moore Sr., man, he is off to the races in that 055. And the battle's on once again for 3rd. But Jeff Barker just not finding the runs he needs off the corner. He can drive it in there, but he needs the speed on exit, longer straightaways here at the Lernerville Speedway. And got to have that motor tuned up, ready to roll. 161 in the 055 on the bottom through 1 and 2. Meanwhile, the Librarian up top where it's not necessarily comfortable, and he had a lot of speed. Does he go back up there again? The answer is yes. Can he get a run on the outside of the 161? Not this time. Not the run that he had the last lap. And I think he needs to culminate these two corners together, but he's ran out of time. White flag flies, one more trip around for Brian Moore Sr., who started out front. He's going to finish there. Final time through 3 and 4. Mr. Wednesday Night brings home the checkered flag at the Lernerville Speedway. Pat Boyce edges out Terry Landis at the line for P2, and the Desert Demon rounds out the podium. Jeff Barker and GJ Boydell, your top 5. But man, oh man. Here, we're going to have to cheat and change cameras here. My apologies. And do what I don't necessarily like to do, but we've gotta try to look at this here. Man, I'm seeing, is that just SDK wrong? Okay, SDK is wrong. I was going to say, from what we're seeing here, Terry Landis, he's got to have it, and he does. As you see there, beats him by 0.004 of a second. But still very, very close. And if Pat isn't as sideways, he maybe edges out the Desert Demon, but well, what do they say? Coulda, woulda, shoulda. And Terry Landis able to bring home P2 after a close finish. Let's see if we can get a word with the Desert Demon in the 161. Man, Terry, dude. Oh, wait, what am I doing? You're second. What am I doing? You're wrong.
Yeah.
My SDK lied to me. So go back home. Well, Pat, I'll tell you what, one of the closest finishes here we've had, and my SDK had you in second place, and when I go back and look at iRacing, they've got Terry in second. So I go look at the video review, and man, oh man, it was so close, but Terry just basically edges you out, or barely edges you out. How are you feeling after that finish?
I'm still shaking.
I bet, man. You know, we saw you. The other guys playing it safe, you know, through 1 and 2, and not you, man. You saw there was still speed up on the top shelf there if you're willing to do it. And how tricky was it to run the top? Why do you think guys gave up on it so early?
I had to go back like 3 clicks on the wing, and that made the car to go right around the top. So I have no idea why. Maybe a little more traction, I suppose, but yeah, it was glued to the top.
Yeah, you know, and it seemed like they're in the late stages. Obviously, Pat, you're thankful to get up there to third, but man, as quick as this thing is, you probably could have got up there more if it weren't for the cautions. It seemed like every time you'd get around Jeff, a caution would come out. Then you start working on Terry, the cautions come out. I mean, how frustrating is that?
That's pretty frustrating. It takes a few laps to get caught up, get up to somebody, and then that happens.
Yeah, but Pat, man, you were, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Sorry. I thought you were done. My apologies. But Pat, great run tonight, man. You really, you plugged away. And I mean, even when guys were kind of going up there, using the mirror maybe a little bit, taking that line away from you, you were relentless. You ran it better than they did. And you had a lot of speed tonight. Congratulations, man. Who you want to thank on that P3?
I want to thank the Malheur Farm Management. Without them, we wouldn't be here. I want to thank the broadcast, you, Shaggy, Salty Dogs, Young Gun Creations, and I'd like to thank most of all the admins that help out on this. Or we wouldn't be here.
No doubt, Pat. The unsung heroes, man. Those admins, they put in a lot of time, and I know guys like Jeff Barker, Patrick Spangler, couldn't do it without him. But great run here, Pat, and we going to see you in the trucks here at Daytona?
Headed there now.
All righty. Good luck, Pat.
Thank you.
Well,
Yep.
now we'll bring up the man, pull him out of another conversation here, Terry. SDK
Yeah.
tried to lie to me there, and on the overlay it told me you finished third. But I go back, I look at the replay, I'm like, there's no way. I pull it up, you win by 4,000s. Man, how was that race to the line?
I just coming in 1 and 2, like I blew it down low and I couldn't get. I was on the gas too hard and spun the tires all the way down. And I heard Pat coming. I knew he had a good run, so I just stayed down low. I didn't want to go up there and smash both of us, so I stayed down low. And then and it was a drag race to the finish, and he got squirrely coming to the inside, and I got squirrely going to the outside.
Yeah, I mean, you're about to meet in the middle there, but luckily it's coming to the checkered flag. And I know you wish that battle there was for the lead, but it just seemed like tonight, man, Brian was so quick, and you'd get to him a couple times, but then that caution flag would fly. How frustrating is that?
Yeah, very frustrating, especially in 1 and 2, because you had to hit it perfect. I mean, he was hitting his marks every lap. He was flying, and once me and Pat got to racing, he was gone. But yeah, down low in 1 and 2, it was a little tricky.
Well, Terry, you plugged away here. Another podium in that 161. I know it's got to feel good coming back to PA and finishing on the podium. So congratulations, man. Who you want to thank?
Oh, thanks. You of course, Shaggy, for putting on a great show, and Mara Farm Management, because we need them guys. And C2C is a great place to race, and all the admins and behind the scene guys and Kreitzel Track Parts. And guys back KSR and Kalen's Homegrown Popcorn, because if you use the word cart at checkout, you get 50% off.
That's CART.
And yep, CRT. And my wife Judy.
Well, congratulations, Terry. I know you'll be in there at Daytona, man. Looking forward to hopefully talking to you again. Good luck here, brother.
Thanks, Shaggy. Yeah, it'll be fun. And kudos to Brian again. He was flying.
Yeah, he was. We're about to talk to him, but congratulations, Terry. Good luck, brother.
All right, thank you.
Now we're bringing up the man of the hour. I'll tell you what, I warned everyone, Brian, when I saw heat race number 1, if they're going to let this 055 start on the front row, man, good night. And you took advantage of it. I mean, I mean, Terry worded it perfect. I didn't see you make one mistake. You may have had one slip by on me, and, when I'm watching the other guys battle, but you were on rails tonight, dude. How'd the car feel?
Oh, it felt great, man. That was fun. Shoot, I could go wherever I wanted to. Of course, the track was good and tacky about anywhere, except for on the top, getting in 1 and 2. Everybody had been kind of running that middle line, and we're throwing marbles up there on top, so it was hard to see the top. And like Pat and I were talking, man, he stayed up there the whole race, he said, but man, I had to give up on that top going into 1 and 2 because I couldn't see it. And I thought, man, one of these times I'm not going to hit it because it was hard to tell where the top was. And if you went too low, well, underneath all them marbles was slick. So, and I think I did that one time and got it real sideways. But I'm not going to tell you what lap that was on, because. I don't know what lap it was, but that was one of the reasons I came down off the top in 1 and 2.
Yeah, but, and this track, man, they throw that bump up there at the top of 1-2 to kind of spoil that run on the outside. So if it goes up there too high, you got a wild ride going into 1. But Brian. Man, that's why I call you Mr. Wednesday night. You're always finishing on the podium, and Tuesday night, well, I just kind of expect that from you now. Congratulations, Brian. Hell of a run tonight, man, and who you want to thank?
Thank you, Shaggy. Thank you for putting this stuff on, and thank the Coast to Coast League for letting me come in here and race with you guys, man. Us old guys, we're still having fun doing this racing stuff. Like Terry and I were talking, man. Seems like we get around each other, but man, we're having fun. And then who is the sponsor tonight?
Maurer Farm Management for this one.
Maurer Farms, there you go, the management company. There, give them a big shout out because I'm glad they're helping us put this stuff on. And then I got a shout out to my brother Rick and Rona, and then give Devo and them guys in SRC a shout out. thanks for all their help and putting up with me too. So, Shaggy, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Oh no,
I like
man.
what you do here, man.
I appreciate that. I like the way you drive, man. Clean, good. You know, you run hard. You're willing to pinch guys, not give them a lot of room, but that's what you got to do, man. But you do it clean and you put on a good show while you do it. So hell of a job, Brian. Congratulations, and well, hopefully I'm talking to you tomorrow night, man. What do you say?
Yeah, maybe so. I'm gonna try and be there.
All right. Well, good luck, Brian. Give him hell.
All right, thanks, Shaggy.
And that's going to do it here for the 360 sprint portion of Old Timer Tuesdays. We're going to pack it up here, take a little break on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we'll be right back with part 2 at the Daytona International Speedway. We're going to get the Craftsman trucks out, have a little bit of fun. So stick around. I'm Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV, and we'll be right back.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman here with Shaggy TV. Well, we're at the Daytona International Speedway for a little Craftsman Truck Series action. We're right on the nose here. We got the Desert Demon Terry Landis. Takes a peek to the inside here. What is that behind him? Let's get a number on that thing. The 012 Bob Curtis. And actually, they're 1, 2, 3 in the lap time. So those three making a good group here, running around together. See Mike or Bob just taking it easy here, rolling around. Just following these two drivers. Gonna pull off the racetrack, and well, we're gonna hop on over to these guys here. We're going to be tweaking here with the sound probably all night. As I imagine when, well, my graphics got messed with, some of those settings did too, sadly. This Pat Boyce here trying to push Terry Landis, give him all he can get here. And he takes a peek to the inside. Look at that, Maurer Farm Management and Shaggy TV logo on the rear deck lid. Now, oh, he does have the Masked Avenger. I was going to say he's only missing the sponsor of this, but he does. Yeah, Masked Avenger, he does have that right beside the Yoo-Hoo. So, Terry, he is on it. On it with those decals here. Good deal for the Desert Demon. Tough break. I know a lot of these guys have reached out asking about my dad. My dad is doing a lot better, but, well, as you heard my hiccup there, sorry, my apologies. My dad went to fire up the computer here to get in this, and, well, his computer took a you-know-what, so I know Tim Chapman here this evening, and, well, when I'm out there with my grandmother tomorrow, I may be doing some computer repair work, or at least attempting to do some computer repair work. You gotta love computers. Always running into an error somewhere down the line. That's technology, though. This is Cale Bixler. Trying to use some draft here to get to the outside, lead this front pack. A little 2x2 rolling around here. One of these days I'm going to put all these cameras together on its own loop so I don't have to click these individually. That would be pretty cool. I can't run them all. That's the better one there anyway. See, because now I got to scroll the whole way back up to the top and I'm way late. Now we do it all over again, but I like playing around with these every now and then. Oh, man, they like playing around too. Hard hit from the 014. G.J. Boydell and Cale Bixler in that 789. Looks like to me they still have the damage turned off, though, I believe. So we saw everything reappear back on that machine. Pat Boyce and Terry Landis continue to have a little two-man party out here. 1 and 2 on the charts. You know, this is why not? You might as well. Not a huge field here right now. 13 guys, 13 guys registered. 11 with times. You might as well find that buddy to work with and. Terry straight as an arrow, man. And that's Pat getting a little shaky here, but Terry doing all that he can. Let's ride here with this 161. He goes down and clips the apron a little bit. You don't want to do that. But hey, the white flag flies on warm-ups. That's going to do it. Just like that, we're going to roll to qualifying and well, you know, during qualifying here, let's talk about just the first minute till we get a guy out here on the racetrack actually doing a lap or two. We got Speed Weeks coming up here in the Coast to Coast Racing League. So if you're interested in doing that, it's going to be 10 races at 5 different tracks, I believe. That's how that's going to go. Not too sure what the classes are. I'm sure it's listed on the website. But if you go to c2crl.com, you can find out more about it. Winner will receive a trophy along with $100 payout, I believe. As Terry Landis finally here decides to get out on the racetrack. And my wonderful... There we go. My wonderful blimp went away, but go back to that here. So we take a view of the long pond here at Daytona, down the back stretch. Just on the bottom there above Steve Bixler's name, you see the chicane there that they use on the road course. Well, you can see the whole road course, actually. But I'm thinking about that. Duh. Pretty neat. Pretty good view here of the Daytona International Speedway. Let's find somebody out here on that first lap. This is a guy. He's leading the way out front. In 789, he'll come to the complete lap number 1 first. Him and his dad in the 75, Steven Bixler. Steven out there on the racetrack as well. Let's show you. Cale, Steven. Cale, Steven. Who's going to be quicker? Cale is coming to the line first. We see a purple there out of Steven Bixler. Steven Bixler taking it by 0.03 of a second for now. But GJ Boydell, he spoiled the party there in that 014. And anytime we're on the asphalt, you got to keep your eye out here for this guy. GJ Boydell, very quick in the asphalt stuff. Just doesn't always have the best luck in the asphalt stuff. So we'll have to see if he can bring it home here, park it on the podium tonight. Long, long way to go here at Daytona. You see, he gets right down there, right against that yellow line. That's about as close as you can get to without upsetting those tires. You get any lower than that first yellow strip, car's going to be angry. Purple through sector 1. Slower through 2, probably because maybe he did clip it a little too much when the camera turned. Not going to speed up that lap, and he needed to because Mike Cramner, welcome to the pole in the 70, Mike Cramner. Quick time for the 70 as Pat Boyce comes around. Can the librarian unseat the king? No, he can't. He's going to stay P5. Scott Seneker comes around. He parks at P4. Roger Craig, he had come around P6. John Rayner, sorry, that's who I tried to click on, but he teleported to 3rd on his final time around. And the Desert Demon gonna park at P5 in the 161. Bob Curtis currently on his second and final lap. Greg Parmalee and Bill Calder have not qualified. Not too sure if we'll see a qualifying effort out of those two or not. But everyone else has put in a qualifying time. Bob Curtis quicker through sector 1 than his first lap. His opening lap was a 51.37. Only a 10th off, but finds himself in 10th place. So that's how close the field is. He's getting a little bit of an improvement through sector 1. Let's see what he does through 2. Gonna be slower, and what does this mean for the lap? Bob Curtis gonna move up 1 spot with a 51.34. Move Bob Curtis to P9. And just like that, qualifying comes to a close here at the Daytona International Speedway. Mike Cramner, GJ Boydell, John Rayner, Steve Bixler, Terry Landis, your top 5. As we get ready for, I want to say, let's see here. I don't want to lie to you guys. I was going to say 40 laps. I'll be honest. I'll throw it out there. I'll be vulnerable here for a second. Oh, 40 laps. Look at that. Would you look at that? So 40 laps here at the Daytona International Speedway. Buckle up. It's going to be a hell of a ride. Outside of row number 7 in the 4, Greg Parmalee into his inside the 325 of Willie Bill Calder. Row number 6 on that top shelf in the 63, Shaker Gerdeman, and lined up to the inside, the 25 of Gary Sigelkow. Row number 5 on the outside in the 789, Cale Bixler, and lined up to his inside, the 012 of Bob Curtis. The Bassman, Roger Craig, lines up on the top shelf of row number 4, and to his inside, the 41 of Pat Boyce. Row number 3 to the outside, the 143 of Scott Seneker, and to his inside, the 161 of the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. Row number 2 to the outside in the 75, the Mayor, Steve Bixler, and lining up on the inside, the 302 of John Rayner. Row number 1 for your 40-lap main event at the Daytona International Speedway, brought to you by the Masked Avenger. Outside of row number 1 in the 014, GJ Boydell, and starting on the pole, the 70 of Mike Cramner. Getting ready to go here at the Daytona International Speedway. 40 laps to play around. We got one guy not making the call, no Greg Parmalee. So 13 cars on the racetrack. We'll have to see if they can behave themselves. And good to see Bob Curtis back. Well, Bill Calder, I say good to have him back too. He's down there in the grass letting guys by. He's driving with the one arm out there, so can't be hating on Willie. He's just out here having a good time. The guys have been forewarned. You give Willie a little bit of room here. He's out here to have a good time, and that's exactly what we're going to do here at the Daytona International Speedway. Plenty of time here. Had to say that 3 times just to get it through the drivers' heads here. We got a long way to go. No reason to go 3 wide here and make any Hulk moves right away. We're going to have to pit a couple times. So let's keep this thing green. Let's let some strategy come into play. And let's see if we won't have a hell of a finish on our hands at the Daytona International Speedway. Hasn't disappointed all season in finishes. It's been great on the finishes, and as we watch the field come to the green flag, the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. We're underway at the Daytona International Speedway. 40 laps in the C2 CRL. Side by side there, the first 4 rows. Not a little bit of a breakup till you see Shaker Gerdeman there losing the field a little bit. But Roger Craig, he's tightened up on the inside. And Mike Cramner drops out front as the field maybe got the memo here. Let's let a guy out front waste his gas. Let's get him on his own fuel strategy. Nope, here comes the line on the outside. We're ready to race, boys. What you gonna do when they come for you? That's what the 70's thinking right now. He's got some help in the 302, but G.J. Boydell's got a big run on that top shelf, and the mayor giving him a huge helping hand going down this front stretch. The 75 doing his best. He had to lift out of the throttle there. I'm sure the 302 getting down low sketched him out a little bit. Now you're wondering what you got to do here if you're the 75 of Steve Bixler. As we go, Shaker Gerdeman, he's able to hold on to the draft. Bob Curtis as well, but Bill Calder sadly lost it. Going to need the help of a caution to get back in this one. Tough break here for Willie, but long way to go here as we're just on our way to lap number 3. 2 laps in the books. Mike Cramner to the inside. John Rayner just comfortably riding around in second right now. And, you know, I've talked to the guys plenty of times and gave them my advice. They've pitched theirs, and I got to say, most of the time we agree. You don't want to be that car out front right now at this point in the race. It's nice that Cramner's willing to be that guy, because you need someone to do it. You know, it's just right now you really are. You're burning up. I want to say on the safe end, probably we're going to break gallons down into tenths. At least a tenth and a half a gallon more a lap than the guy behind you. Maybe just a 10, but they add up over time. And I'm telling you, on a 20-lap fuel run, as we're going to turn the volume down a little bit on these cameras, but on a 20-lap fuel run here, you know, that's 2 laps that you got to pit before everyone else. And do that 70 of Mike Cramner, you got to be thinking about here maybe 5, 6 more laps. And I got to rotate, maybe even before then, because you don't want to be hung out as John Rayner goes up the racetrack a little bit. But G.J. Boydell, man, like a stone, holds his line there. He's not going to bounce around in that 014. And We're going to keep rolling around here at Daytona's. Let's go back. Let's find Bob Curtis. What do you say? Let's hop on the nose here, the 012. Or excuse me, the roof, I guess. I should have labeled this roof, not nose. That's, Shaggy better pull out the English dictionary. Is that high side really starting to roll? Greg Boydell here. He takes over the lead for the time being, but that's short-lived. Mike Cramner with a big shot there from the 302, and unless Boydell gets some more help here from the 075, or the 75, excuse me, of Steve Bixler, it's kind of all for naught, and we'll have to see how long Greg wants to fight up there. I mean, right now, him and Mike Cramner, they're fuel buddies. They're burning about the same per lap. Greg maybe a little less, pulling down, getting some of that side draft. John Rayner there, you see that 302 bouncing around. He blinked out there for a second. He's back, but I know that's gonna scare some of those other drivers, that's for sure. As we go up to the blimp here for a lap or two, let's just watch the aerial. Guys knifing around. Oh, man. Thought about a move there. Was that Scott Zeneker in the 143? It was. Pat Boyce to his inside in the 41. He thought about making it 3 wide there for a second, but Scott backed out of it. Realized, hey, maybe a little too early. As the 302 rides up the racetrack, GJ Boydell comes back down trying to maybe get a little bit of side draft, and at the same time, John floats back up. Boy, oh boy, Rubbin's racing on the short tracks, but you don't want to be doing that here at Daytona. They're getting awfully close. Really testing the limits here early as Bixler rides up the racetrack. Zeneker slaps the wall. He's got to hold on to it. Scott Zeneker there in the 143. Did he damage that race car? Pretty good smack there on the side of it. Couldn't tell there. I think it's okay for the 143. He's definitely not going to be too pumped with that. And now, as you know, when you're the 4th, 5th car in line, as you see Gary Sigelkow coming up in the action there on the outside, you know, is this really a spot where you want to be? Do you think the outside 5 deep is going to get to the front? You know, I mean, personally, I'm thinking, what's the advantage? I am absolutely loving what this man's doing, Shaker Gerdeman. Now you see, yeah, Shaggy's in 12th place, blah, 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 he's going slow. Yeah, right. This guy's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's got that perfect gap. He's watching all the boys beat and bang there as we see Zeneker getting that outside wall one more time. That black car, 2 cars up on the outside. And right now, you know, he's just playing it safe, man. He's keeping this gap. He wants to make sure he's there for the first round of pit stops. And Shaker Gerdeman, my hat's off to you, man. In all seriousness, this is exactly how, if you go look at one of these races that I'm in, that is exactly how I'm playing that. You don't need to go for it until about lap 30. 10 to go. That's when it's time to go. And unless, you know, you find yourself and a friend maybe messed up a pit stop, or you absolutely blazed the pit stop and you got a gap over everyone else here if we pit under green. That's the only time you'll really force the issue again, is if you're trying to extend that gap or eat into a gap, you know, maybe just, but even then, it's just 2-3 car pack. Just trying to draft, work together. It won't be any of this double file side by side that we're seeing here for 3rd place. The Desert Demon on the inside of GJ Boydell going down the backstretch. Terry Landis getting that bottom to roll, but there's going to be a little blockage. Cars in front of him. There's nowhere to go for the Desert Demon, so if GJ just keeps pulling down, sucking that side draft, not only is he helping himself a little bit out with the fuel mileage issue of being that lead car, But he's keeping Terry Landis from getting to the back of that 302 and making it a 3-car line. Because when you pull that side draft, you see there, it even pulled the 302 off the back of the 70 on entry. Just gotten back to him in the middle of the corner because GJ moved away. But when you pull down and you suck air off the side of that truck in front of you, it not only makes your car go faster, it is going to slow them down at the same time. Oh, it was Bixler there. He bouncing around a little bit. Able to hang on. Roger Craig thinking about making it 3 wide. Whoa. He maybe burps the throttle, lets him gather it as Zeneker whoop-de-woos down there on the bottom. Oh, man. Terry Landis in the inside. Oh, there's the demon. He keeps it rolling. Oh, Terry Landis with one of the best saves we've seen here. We got to rewind this, go back. I'm not going to have a save point. So Bixler gets loose somehow. Body slams the 161, and Terry Landis held on for now. Shaker Gerdeman, are they going to be able to hold on to this draft, Terry? That's what I want to know. Let's go on the nose. It's going to be really close. It is going to be really close. Those guys keep running side by side. I think they're going to be just fine. And you see, here they come. Terry will get to that rear bumper. They're coming. Terry Landis, an absolute wheelman out here in Daytona, man. Great job by the Desert Demon. Cale Bixler looking to the outside here. He's trying to get that outside going once again. Here is the front 3, all single file. We did have a rotation. G.J. Boydell got to the front from the help of Steve Bixler. Now Mike Cramner may be doing exactly what I said here. He led those 10 laps, and now it's time to save a little bit of fuel. You don't want to be at that big of a disadvantage. And you know you already are at a disadvantage, but you got to try to cut down on that as much as you can. And oh, they're beating and banging. Cale Bixler goes around, and the caution waves here at Daytona. Not too sure there what kicked it off. I mean, we see the contact. We're going to go up above. Let's see what kind of view we can get here. So Cale comes down right as Greg goes up. They meet in the middle. Cale gets a little bit sideways as he comes back up. Roger's already there. Nothing the Bassman could do. You see him hit the brakes. I mean, even try to get out of that. It's just too little too late. Cale Bixler in that 7, 8, 9. Rolls around, but I'll tell you, there's no way we can't do this real quick. There's absolutely just... Now listen, I know you're pitting. I'll send you back right away, but my God, Terry, how did you hang on to that? How do you save that truck like that, man?
I just went with the flow. I got the shot, and I just held it straight as hard as I could, and it worked out.
Man, you're even good enough to keep the draft. I mean, I guess you didn't need it here. Caution waves, but are we all going to pit here? Do we need fuel?
Yeah, we need fuel. Where everybody's going in.
All right, well, I'll send you back home, Terry. Hell of a save, man. Let's see if we can park this thing in victory lane here.
Thanks, Shaggy.
Man, Terry Landis, dude. My God. The way, whoops, sorry about that. Clicked the wrong screen there. Brought up the iRacing behind the scenes, but Terry Landis, what a phenomenal save in that 161. And now we're going to watch here. Let's see the race off pit road. He's going to win this race. Oh, it's looking like it's G.J. Boydell, Roger Craig. Oh, Steve Bixler. He loops it around. Shaggy's done that a time or 2 or 3 or 4, if I'm being honest with you. But he turns it back around, gets it on the racetrack. Gary Sigelkow edges out Terry Landis. And just like that, the rest of them roll off here. Scott Zeneker, he's going to get some tires, I think. Might as well if you're in here. Might as well. You're already in the back. There's no reason not to. But if you go green flag, I'm telling you now, if you, none of the drivers are listening, as they shouldn't be. They should be racing. Oh, Pat Boys. That's damage is off now, so that's okay now. That is. Oh wait, yeah, that's damage is off now. What was Shaggy talking about when the 143? That was all visual scrape there. It doesn't matter now. That would have refreshed itself the next lap there, like Pat's did right away. So that was all in my dreams. I'll just pretend I never said that. But right now, GJ Boydell leads the way. Roger Craig, P2, and Mike Cramner rounding out the top three, as it looks like they're thinking about going double file here. So next time by should be getting ready to go back racing here at the Daytona International Speedway. And you see there the lights under the flag man. They were yellow. They're now, well, clear. They're nothing. You know, you just see a little bit of sunlight shining off of them, and that means we're going back racing here. Double file, no lights on the Steve King Foundation pace car. We got a recipe for racing here at Daytona. Now, you know what they normally say. Cautions breed caution. So let's see what happens here. We had a long green flag run to start off with. Got us pretty close to the halfway point, so maybe one more pit stop brings us home if we have another long green flag run. But if we get some cautions and somebody tries short pitting, that's when it could get interesting if we get cautions at the end with the unlimited green-white checkers. If we go a couple extra laps, you don't want to come down and pit too early. That's why I say maybe one more stop, possibly two, and if you want to be safe, you're going to be taking two. We have yet to see one of these races this season, I believe, where the guy who was in first place on the last lap has won. So you do not need to be in P1 when you cross for the white flag here at Daytona. In fact, it may be not one of the worst places to be. You could be sitting in the inside grass, you know, tore up, or you could be backwards, spun out, but not necessarily. You don't want to be plowing through the air for that guy in front of you. As the pace car is off, the green flag is high. 24 laps to go at the Daytona International Speedway. We're back underway. As we barrel down into turn one here, GJ Boydell leads the field, single file on the bottom. And I think they agree with that message here. We just want to get back to rolling. We want to get that momentum going. Never mind. Caution flag waves as Roger Craig goes around the Bassman. Part of your second caution here in that blue 747. See if we can figure out what happened. He already down in the infield at that point in time. We're going to go up top here. Mike Cramner goes down low. He's looking to get by. Then just gets into the left rear of the 747 ever so lightly. But when you're going that fast, that's all it takes. And the Bassman not able to hang on to that as few could. Comes back up the racetrack, gets into the 41. The Librarian is going to have to pull up a how to fix a front end book here, that 41. I don't know if they got that in the school library or not. Now this, you know, this is where these cautions, this is where I say it's going to make people think about doing this one stop now. It may get risky. There's no way we're going from that last pit stop to the end, even if we get to it with no cautions. There's just absolutely no way. But who is the guy to come down pit road first? Who's willing to try it? Who's willing to take the risk? Sure as heck would not be me. I wouldn't want to go out there and be the test dummy. As it looks like, is Pat Boyce going to come down pit road? Terry Landis? You thought about it? Nope. Just a little bit of a bluff here from the 41 and the Desert Demon. We roll around. I believe the lights are still on. Not going back green just yet. Pacing around here at the Daytona International Speedway. Willie. Here he comes getting back on the lead lap. I see Bill Calder out there wheeling that thing around. You know what? While we're waiting here, let's see. Who's going to be the victim? Oh, are we back green now, actually? They threw me back green. Dag nabbit. Well, I understand why they want to. They want to get more green flag laps in. Totally understandable. But I was going to pull up somebody for an interview. Now, next time it's going to be this man here. If we get another caution, I'm going to pull up the yellow jacket. As long as he's not involved in the caution. We're getting wrecked here. We'll pull him up. I don't like you to hear the worst of the drivers. I would be no fun to talk to if I had just gotten involved in an accident and they pulled me up. So you gotta keep the drivers out of situations like that. That's never any fun. We roll off a 4 here. We'll see that Steve King Foundation pace car dive down. We're back ready to roll here. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. 21 to go. And we're gonna be back under caution here at Daytona. Mike Cramner spins around, and the rest of the field absolutely nowhere to go. And, well, we're still wrecking here at Daytona. So he's just going to spin these tires, I believe, and come down across the 302 of John Rayner, who, once again, when I say that, I don't mean it as disrespectful. I only know what he did because I've done it. You get in that throttle, you jump it, see it bites down left. And really nothing Rayner could do at this point other than completely just hit the brakes and stop the car. Can't do that. Well, caution flag waves. Oh, Bill Calder was coming around. He's got one arm. He was just trying to go through the thing, and one working arm right now. He was just trying to make it through. And right now, got G.J. Boydell out front, Pat Boyce, Terry Landis. I think, so Gary either needs to go around the pace car, or yeah, we're going to have to figure this out, because right now G.J. Boydell, Terry Landis, Pat Boyce, and Roger Craig, Bob Curtis, they're all going to be a lap ahead of the field unless this 25 Asigo Cal goes around. Now they're coming down to pit, so they're all going to go a lap down. Caution laps count now. Yeah, I tried to do some homework there for him. They may have thought they were supposed to stay behind the pace car when they could go around, or maybe the front four are looking at a penalty here for going too early. But either way, we're down to 5 cars on this lead lap now. So not necessarily what you want to see. Terry Landis, that last car on the lead lap. But yeah, not too sure the bugaboo there, what's going on. As I think some of these guys still trying to figure out what's going on, to be honest with you. And, well, boys, the whole field's got to go around. I have to see here. Yeah, not too sure. So either a hiccup there from the 025 Single Cow gets the field chopped a lap down, or these front 4 or 5 went around the pace car when they weren't supposed to. I have to see. But either way, if this thing stays green now, if it does, I mean, this cuts down who can win this thing. So have to see here as the Steve King Foundation pace car pulls off. Drivers still leaving big gaps behind, and can't do that at Daytona on a restart. Got to tighten up. We're back underway, and I'll tell you what, this has all the makings for a disaster here for these back guys. Gonna let them front pull away here. Roger Craig with a little bit of a slow restart as well. That may be able to reel them back in, maybe get the pack racing back, but right now, not what you want to see happen. If you're Bill Calder, Cale Bixler, and those two, they are already out of the party here. They're going to need some big help. GJ Boydell and Pat Boyce, man, they're about to get 8 up here. They got to too big of a lead. You're about to find out why you don't want to do that here at Daytona. As Scott Zeneker races his way back onto the lead lap the hard way, so does Gary Single Cow. And, well, boys, if you didn't get trapped the lap down and you were looking at that little ticker that iRacing gives you, telling you where to go, you'd be up front right now. Tough break for these guys as GJ Boydell still the leader. On that top shelf, Pat Boyce P2. Terry Landis in the 161. You see him third on the inside. He's P3. So Terry right now make a move for P2. Single Cow gets up the racetrack, gets into the 014. Somehow, they don't wreck there. No idea how. But Terry Landis takes the lead here at Daytona. The Desert Demon here with 16 to go. I know what you don't want to do. You really don't want to lead the party here, man. You want to be in the draft. GJ maybe not happy with the 025 of Gary Single Cow after the contact, but hey, you got to use him for what he's worth now. Greg up there behind that 25. Gonna have him cut a hole through that air. And GJ Boydell and Terry Landis swap back and forth. Terry gets him back through the middle of 3 and 4. As your battle for the lead is row number 2 here at Daytona. The 143 and the 25, they both got back on the lead lap and are pacing the field here, but are a good, we're going to call it 48 seconds behind. The race lead is Pat Boyce and Mike Cramner making a little bit of contact. Pat Boyce in the 41, he knows he needs to get going here. 15 to go, but you got a bunch of lap cars in front of you, so you got to do this smart and you got to do it efficient here. You don't want to make a mistake, get all these guys back on the lead lap. Really, if you're on the lead lap right now, I'm telling you, that needs to be going through your head. You don't need a caution. You need this thing to stay absolutely green until the end, and well, that may not happen now. It may still happen. Roger Craig with some hot hands, and boy, oh boy, we've had some amazing saves here at Daytona. The Bassman, he'll be able to tuck in behind this 75, and now I'm wrong plenty of times, but the Bassman should be able to hold on to the draft here, and looky, here he comes back. Roger will be back to play here in a lap or two. Is GJ Boydell back to the front of that outside line? Gary Singelkow moved down to the inside in front of Scott. Now that allowed Scott to be put back a lap down. They'll give all these guys a wave around as long as there's not 5 laps to go or less, I believe. So we'll have to see. You know, you want to get out front if you're that 143 in the 25. If you're Zeneker, you don't want to play second fiddle to Singelkow right now. I understand. You know, they're in a Discord together, hanging out, working together. But in Singelkow, you don't want to go up there and rub the leader necessarily when you're fighting for that lap back. So you're walking a line here. You don't want to make too many enemies, but you got to find a way to get yourself back into the race. Oh, Bixler, hold on. No, Steve comes back up, gets into the 0-1-2. Bob Curtis hangs on to it. Oh, no, but Bob then comes back down. He's able to keep rolling, but Bob Curtis is the last man on the lead lap other than this battle up front. Now you find yourself in 5th, but about 6-7 seconds back the road. Meanwhile, Gary Singelkow, no chill on that 25, back to the inside, trying to find a way around, but Mike Cramner said enough's enough. Let's go, Greg. He's all over the rear bumper of that 014, and he is shoving that thing for all he's got. Boydell goes down, shuts the door. Oh, Singelkow floats up in front of Rayner. And that was brewing. I mean, we saw this 25 bounce and up around, and that's the one that's finally gonna call it here. That is not on Gary. I had the camera on the wrong person. That's on me. As you see here, let's go up top, and he may have gotten some help, you know, may have gotten a shove, which loosened the car up and sent him up the racetrack. We'll see. 143 all over the back of that 25, and yeah, maybe a tap there in the right rear, loosened the car up, shot it up the racetrack, but we had seen that coming for a long time, the beating and banging up here towards the front, and just like that, back under caution here at Daytona. Now, as Mike Cramner, he gets the wave around, the actual official wave around, as he should. That first car a lap down, and I don't know here. Now, when we come around, we'll be within 10 to go. I don't know if their rule is 5 to go or 10 to go. Not sure if we're going to see drivers get the wave around. What's going on here? Boydell, they're going to come down pit road here. This should be the final pit stop, if all goes according to plan. Mike Cramner coming around here. He'll be back on the lead lap. Bob Curtis will get to retighten up with the field. Let's watch here the race off pit road. Desert Demon Terry Landis, he's going to win the race off. He'll lead the field to the green flag. GJ Boydell, Roger Craig. And I believe that was Shaker Gerdeman. He's a lap down, so I'm not going to count him in that. Pat Boyce coming off P4. I'll have to see. Let's go up front here. Are we going to allow people to go around? Let's sit on the back stretch here. So we've got Terry coming up. Now, if cars start blowing around, we'll have a couple more race cars on the lead lap. But if not, we're only going to have 6 here when we go back racing. So we'll have to see. 10 to go. Like I say, not too sure what their official ruling is. I'm getting back on the lead lap as I see cars whoaing up here. That's damage is off though, no big deal. That's when you tell yourself it's okay. Maybe the broadcast didn't see that. And, you know, maybe we didn't, maybe we did. But hey, damage is off. It's no big deal. Live to race another day, Mr. Zeneker. Yeah, we're not giving the laps back here, so that's it. You know, that's one mistake, one guy getting caught out, maybe not paying attention to see. Now, here with 9 laps to go this time by, only 6 cars on the lead lap, and now, you know, you find yourself, you were up there possibly racing to get back on the lead lap, and maybe up there towards the front, got involved. And do you go up there and do you try to mix it up again, or do you let the leaders race? This is where everyone's going to tell you something different. I'm going to tell you, within 10 laps to go, let the leaders race. You know, I mean, unless you've got a teammate up there who has absolutely no help amongst the lead lap cars, and you're up there pushing him, that's probably the most you need to be involved in this thing. Other than that, you know, just kind of hang out, race amongst the cars that are around you, and just hope that, you know, you can always hope that the leaders get involved in something in front of you, and just like that, you're back on the lead lap. So you need to put yourself in position to be able to pounce. And also, like I say, the main thing in here, you don't want to, I mean, PO anybody, you don't want to make anybody mad. And I mean that with all due respect. You know, these guys, it's like a brotherhood in here. You don't need to go up there and be disrespectful. I mean, let the guys who have, you know, managed this thing correctly go up there and run for it. So we'll have to see if Terry Landis be able to get a good jump here if he even wants to. Does he want to set the pace? Does he let Greg back around? Who wants to lead the way here at Daytona? A lot of questions yet to be answered. We'll have 8 laps to go when we go back green. Have to see what happens here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Thank you for tuning in this evening. As always, love having you. And if any of the other racers in the next race happen to hear Shaggy, maybe you just like hold that thing, because I think I might try and race with you guys tonight. Green flag's high, it's ready to fly. We're back underway. 8 laps to play here at Daytona International Speedway. Terry Landis with a good jump here. You see the front 5. That is the top 5. The 0-1-2 leading the tail end. Shaker Girdham in there. He's 7th. He's the first guy to shake it up. Mike Cramner, he's on the lead lap, but can't find a way down to the bottom. Zeneker gets in that outside wall. Gary Siegelkow, boy, oh boy, big move there through the center for the 25. And, well, may have a caution here. We'll see what happens with the 143 of Zeneker, but see no caution just yet. Comes to a stop here. Gonna get it back rolling. Should be good here. The 143 can keep it straight. He does. And just like that, you know, that's what I said. You're a lap car. Do you need to do that? Now you find yourself in a non-transfer spot. And, well, row number 3 here. That's lap down cars. The 0-1-2 stuck behind. Let's see what happens. Pull them belts tight. Gary making it 3 wide. And gets into the inside of Pat Boyce, who's just running around there, 3rd and 4th place, kind of minding his own, goes around. And Well, back under caution here, and it's just one where, you know, you're not really I always call it how it is, and I congratulate Gary when he wins, and you know, I say he's aggressive when he's being aggressive, and this is a case of, you know, just being a little too aggressive. And I've tried to measure it up for you guys, tried to set the field, and it's just you know, maybe not the 25's moment to shine here. You know, we got those guys up front looking in there. Well, truthfully, you see the 63. I know he's holding his line. He's probably thinking, oh, I'm just doing it. But just, you know, crack that throttle. There wasn't going to be a wreck there. Or yet. Was there going to be? See, no, the 63 stayed low. I thought they were thinking about having 2 wrecks here. But just a case of, you know, Daytona. And you got guys on the lead lap trying to get it back. And I guess the 63 of Shaker Gerderman, he should get that lucky dog here. So he'll find himself back on the lead lap, I would think. It's Terry Landis coming around trying to catch that Steve King Foundation pace car. Where is the Steve King Foundation pace car? Let's see if we can play spot the pace car. We're going to see it. Terry and them catch up to it. There we go. They caught it. They're going to be on the brakes hard, too. We might get a good view. Hold your breath. Oh, Bill kept it off the wall so far. Ooh, little love tap there. Ain't going to hurt that 325 too bad. Let's see here. Does the 63 get to come back around? Does he get the lucky dog? Or, you know, if you get an incident point, yeah, you don't get that wave around. So that's what it is. And now the guy's beating and banging here in the back a little bit. They're having a little disagreement down there. Kill Bixler and Bob Curtis, I think. Right now, just 6 cars still on the lead lap, so Shaker may have gotten a 1X in that or something. Didn't get the wave around. So we're going to go back to go here. Or back to green. Not back to go. We don't want to go back to go. Go over. Well, I mean, I guess you can go back to go, you know. If you just go around, you get that chance card. You go around. Pick up that 200 again. 400 if some people play, you know, you land on go the double. Now, I don't know the official rules. But on the Xbox, that's an option, you know. Getting frisky if you're... Personally, I like it. And I've always liked the way, you know, if somebody dumb enough not to buy a property they land on, put that thing up for auction. I think that is the official Monopoly way, but hey, who knows? So we roll through 3 and 4 here for the final time. That Steve King Foundation pace car will pull off, and we're going to be back with 4 laps here at the Daytona International Speedway. Like I say, we'll have to, you know, see if some of the drivers here got the memo. They're going to let those ones up front play here, or if we're going to misbehave in the back. But 4 laps to go. The green flag's high. It's ready to fly. Let's go at Daytona. Greg Boydell just wanting to slot himself in line and wasn't able to do that just yet. He's got some cars coming up behind him in the 63 of Shaker Gerderman, that first car a lap down. You're looking at Bob Curtis. He's back the road. He is on the lead lap, but top 5 there on the left of your screen. Now top 4. Hey, are the cars on the lead lap? And, well, we're going 3 wide back here. Plenty of room to make it work. Let's see if it will. The 41 getting that elbow out. He's going to put Cale in his place. Going to move to the outside and try to see if he can hook on up with G.J. Boydell and Mike Cramner. Who, Boydell, man, he unhooked the trailer there going down the front stretch. That 70 gave him a shot. He went for a ride. He had it at the line. Give it back to the 161. Roger floats up the racetrack, gets into the side of the Desert Demon, and Roger able to keep on rolling. And why I say Roger able to keep on rolling, that is important, because that would have, if he spins out there too, that puts a lot of guys back on the lead lap. And well, we let this one run a little long, but let's go back, take a look. We kind of saw how that kicked off. See if we can. That's absolutely terrible. There we go. See Roger. So he just comes up the racetrack a little bit there on corner entry, gets into the side of the 70, who then Mike Cranmer gives Boydell an awkward bump because he's riding up the racetrack, and Roger gets into the 014 as well. Just like that. Finds himself in the lead here at Daytona. And Terry Landis, some of those other guys maybe banging their helmet a little bit, reminding themselves why they don't like to be out front till the end. Terry still on the lead lap. I'm just paying attention to where everyone is on the racetrack. Pat Boyce on up to P2. Bob Curtis in the 012. Remember, he was just playing survival, basically. He got shuffled out of that lead pack here twice, and still just playing the long game, man. Has himself on the podium right now. And I told you, I may not be able to execute out there on the racetrack, but I do know a thing or two. And, man, you just play that wait-and-see strategy. You let a caution breed another caution at the end, and just play survival, man. Make sure you got enough time to, get the bug off the windshield. When you see the guy spinning in front of you, you don't want to be right up on it. You want to be able to, hit the windshield fluid, clean off the windshield, and drive through that thing clean as a whistle. And that's what you're seeing some of these guys do back here in the back. Just being patient, making sure they're around at the end. And now we'll have our first attempt at a green-white checkered when we go back here. I do believe the attempts are unlimited. I don't think we have a limit on those, so we'll have to see. You're not getting back on the lead lap, so those guys, coming up here making it 3 wide. You know who you are. Let's settle down here. If we're not on the lead lap, let's let those guys play a little bit up front and see if we can crown a winner here at the Daytona International Speedway. Got 6 cautions so far. And really, that's a lot of cautions compared to the racing that we've had. We've had 2 fairly long green flag runs and then just spoiled by a little impatience. So we'll have to see if we can get back on track here, keep these last 2 clean, or if we're looking at maybe another 1 or 2 attempts here at a green-white checkered. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Lights are off. The Bassman, Roger Craig. Bring us back here. He'll drop the hammer once he gets into that Geico restart zone. And we'll have to see if the Bassman can reel himself in a victory here tonight in that 747. Maybe Pat Boyce can come steal this thing. Maybe Mike Cranmer can take it. Or maybe that 012, who's had himself a quiet, clean race. He deserves that in the 012. Have to see. Steve King Foundation pace car pulls off. And we're back underway at Daytona. Green, white, checkered. 2 laps to figure out your winner. Roger Craig with a good jump there. You don't want to get too good of a jump, and that's exactly what he did. Only about a car length there in front of the 41. You don't want those guys to suck up on you and have a giant run. Terry Landis now taking a peek on the outside. He's got a good run, man. He has got a good run. Pat goes up, hooks him a little bit, and, well, we're wrecking. We're back under caution here at Daytona for the 7th time, and we saw that one coming. Terry had a big run on the outside, went to make the move, and found himself getting spun off the nose here. As we try to go upstairs. Let's see here. So Pat, just maybe getting a little too defensive here, trying to come up and cut some side draft. You got a whole lane down there to the bottom. But just floating up, trying to suck off the 161. And so he goes up there one more time, and it's enough. He hooks him, gets into the Bassman, finds himself there in the middle 3 wide, actually. And, well, the 789, they had their own deal back here, apparently. Let's see what broke down here. It's just him trying to shoot down across the nose of a lead lap car in the 012. And, well, if it didn't happen up front, it was going to happen there. Caution flag waves one more time. They bundle up here on the back of the pace car. This is where if you pit too early, do you have enough fuel? So this is what you didn't want to have happen. Maybe you got to pit late again, and this is where if you're a lap car, you pit right now so you have enough fuel. And you hope those leaders run out on another 1 or 2 green, white caution or checkered attempts, and that's your move to get back on the lead lap. That's pretty much the only play you have. I'm not sure if we're going to see anyone use that or not. Doesn't look like it. Lights are off, so we should be going back here this time. But, Daytona, just a product of one of those tracks where, like I say, if find yourself on the lead lap, everybody's going to have a missile, especially with unlimited damage. So you just put that pedal to the floor, and you're good at Daytona. So you got to be respectful. Be good to your fellow driver, and, well, if you're not, expect the same thing when you're in the lead, at a dirt race or here. And if guys remember that, man, everyone racing in this league has the mind of an elephant. Care what they tell you, they don't forget anybody that's hit them at any point in time. That's just the competitiveness of drivers. And if you're going out there beating on people when it doesn't really mean anything to you, you're gonna have some enemies. So make it as good on yourself as you can, and try to behave. And if you're a lap down, the best you're going to get is P7, so that's what you're racing for. And at the end of the day here, I don't think 7th and 10th is a huge difference between these drivers. It's not like a 1st and a 5th. So let these boys run it out here. Let's see what they got. So we roll off a 4. Steve King Foundation pace car ready to pull off. The green flag's high. It's ready to fly. Second attempt at a green, white checkered. We're back underway at Daytona. As you see there, the front 4 or 5 able to break away a little bit. Bob Curtis, he's on the lead lap, but I don't think he wants any of this. He's backing out of it. I don't blame him. It's been a madhouse up here, and right now, says Shaggy, I'm just going to try to survive this thing. Let's see right now. Top 5 on your screen are the top 5. The 302 of John Rayner and Shaker Gerderman are battling for 7th, but, well, back under caution here once again. 143 of Scott Zeneker around, and not too sure what's going on back here in the back, but He's just trying to play it safe and not get involved in anything, I don't think. Oh, they were already wrecking up there up front. So the 789 of Steve and Cale, that starts it. Shaker then, Zeneker then, he goes up the racetrack because he wants to avoid the wreck. So right now, just got Steve coming down as Cale comes up a little bit, and the father and son bring out the caution here at Daytona. Now we got to be, final lap here. So that is going to spoil it. That's what I was going to say. We got to be running out of time here. And it's 57, an hour and 10 minutes. No, there's enough time left. I guess they just have it set to 2 attempts. So the Bassman, Roger Craig, going to inherit the win. And I'll tell you what, maybe not the way he thought it would come, but it's the way it's going to be tonight at Daytona. Congratulations to that Bassman in the 747 as we roll through 3 and 4. And they come to the starter stand. We should see that checkered flag wave and symbolize the end here at Daytona. It does. Checkered flag waves. And Roger Craig brings home the victory here at Daytona. Does he? Pat Boyce crosses the line first. None of those guys, I don't think, they still got to cross the line. Guys still got to cross the line. Or iRacing may not like that, I think. But either way, we know who it is. Roger Craig, Terry Landis, Pat Boyce. They're going to say something different there on your SDK because they didn't actually cross the start-finish line. They Mark Martined it. But I think they will edit those to make it correct here, I would think, is see if we can go back and, well, we're going to go to the start of this race here for our cameras, that long green flag run that we were treated with. As we find Terry Landis here.
No,
Hey,
Bob Curtis.
I already pulled you up, Terry. My apologies. How you doing, man? It seemed like we were in for a treat, a real long green flag run, and then, well, tell us the story.
I really don't know what happened. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
yeah.
Just
I was like,
oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
finish.
no, go ahead. You probably can remember better than I can.
Yeah, just well, obviously, you don't have the best view running up towards the front, but it seemed like, just a case of maybe some guys getting a little impatient who were caught a lap or two down and not letting you guys race out front. And I know we just came from a dirt race where that happened to you. I mean, how frustrating is it here at Daytona?
Yeah. That truck was running pretty good in the later half of the race. And then when that one yellow came out, I had changed all 4 tires. So I was sitting pretty, I thought, and I went to the outside for the last restart, and I was gone. But then another yellow came out.
Yeah, now, a lot of people would think, oh, tires at Daytona, but I mean, yell at me if I'm wrong here. But you work through a fuel run or two, and by the end, lap 35, 40, if you get a shot in the rear end going through the tri-oval, man, you can lose that thing.
Yeah, because your tires aren't there for sure. Yeah, they just get a little less grip.
Well, Terry, you're able to survive there at the end, bring it home in P3. Congratulations, double podium night, man. Who you want to thank?
You, Shaggy, for putting this on. You do a great job. And the Masked Avenger Racing, because we still don't know who he is, but we keep looking. And then, let's see, Kreitz Old Track Parts, Boys Back KSR. Miss you guys. Galen's Homegrown Popcorn.
They're down there winning at Volusia, man. They're down there.
Yeah, I know,
winning
right?
This week. They look good, dude. They look good.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty cool, and how they can just throw any driver in there and gets it done.
Yeah, it says a lot about
Yeah.
Brown there up there. It says a lot
Oh
about
my
him.
gosh, yeah. And thank my wife Judy.
Well, congratulations, Terry. Good run, man, and hopefully I'm talking to you tomorrow night.
All right, thanks, Shaggy. See you later.
As I work on getting the frog out of my throat here. Jeez. My apologies. Shaggy choking on his own spit here as we pull up the librarian, Pat Boyce. Pat, man, it seemed like you're up there, you're running around, but we just couldn't get a long enough green flag at the run at the end for you to try to go up there and get this thing. What's going through your head there at the end?
Trying to get past Roger. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, are you thinking though? Obviously you can't. You don't have that crystal ball, man. You didn't know we were going to get another caution at the end, but
No.
are you thinking coming though to the white flag lap? P2. You're prime territory. It's looking like that 41 might bring home the checkered flag.
Well, I'm not sure because if it wouldn't, I probably ran out of fuel. That's how close it was.
Okay, so see, everyone out there listening, I'm not as dumb as I look or sound. I was gonna ask you that, Pat. I brought that up a couple times. Knowing that fuel was gonna be close, and was it all those green white checkers that really added up there at the end?
Yeah. Yep. That'd have been fine if it wouldn't been for them, but yeah, it come down to. I don't think I had one more lap to go.
Well, sometimes the racing gods are on your side, and it seems like tonight, Pat, they were. Congratulations on the P2, man. Good run. And who you want to thank, brother?
Mauer Farm Management, Coast Racing League, the Salty Dogs. I want to thank you for the broadcast, Young Gun Creations, and all the admins.
Well, hey, heck of a run, Pat. Hopefully I'm talking to you tomorrow night after Hometown Heroes, brother. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's the librarian, Pat Boyce, bringing home P2. And now we're going to bring up the man who gets it done. And Roger, first things first, Pat said he was probably going to run out of gas. Were we going to make that thing if we stayed green? And I hit the Discord. You're hitting the iRacing maybe.
When just barely when the pace lap first came out, the flag came out. I did not have enough fuel to finish, and then the pace laps let me, gave me enough fuel.
Wow, man. I knew it was going to be close. I knew when you guys pitted a couple green, white checkers, it would be a little hairy. But, what are you thinking? Obviously the caution there at the end, your best friend. That's the first time I think we've seen a guy leading there at the end bring it home. Were you thinking you were in a good spot, or were you just waiting for the pack to roar on by?
Well, I was waiting for the pack to roar by, but I told the guys, I said, if we hit 2 yellows, I could win this thing. So that's about the only way I could win anything.
Well, sometimes it's there for you, sometimes it's not. And you needed it tonight. You got up to the front. And, well, if we didn't get those late cautions, Roger, you had enough fuel. You had a lot of speed. Maybe it wouldn't have been as easy. But congratulations on the win, man. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, and I love the damage-free thing. I had 30 incidents, and I still won the race, so it's pretty crazy. I just want to thank you, Shaggy, for doing what you do. You do a great job, and I want to thank my wife for giving me the time to do this and give me I got my rig set up in the new room, and obviously it's good luck for me here, so that's good. And of course, all my Salty Dogs. We had just a blast. So.
Well, hey, heck of a run, Roger. I don't mean to cut these short, but I'm going to try to go get in that NASCAR race if it didn't already start up. So I'm going to try to hustle my butt on over there.
Yeah, go now, man, because I'm in here and I think they're ready to advance to qualifying.
All right. Well, good run, Roger. Congratulations on the win. Hopefully I'm talking to you more this week, brother.
Yep. Okay, shut her down, Shaggy. Get in here.
The Bass Man brings it home. You heard the boss man. Shut it down. Get in there. I'm bringing up the credits. Thanks for tuning in to Coast to Coast. I'm Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV, signing off. Have a good night.